Right, so this is another episode of BBB Radio Interviews. Yes, I haven't done this in a long while, but I'm just glad to get back at it. I.e., these video interviews, man, these one-on-one conversations and whatnot, right? And for this episode here, I'll be talking with the man, the myth, and soon-to-be legend. Yes, I'm calling that right now. Ancil Harris, man. A good friend of mine. We've known each other for years now, and I don't know, like for me, this is just amazing, like just a turning point in our lives here, man. Because pretty much, just to kick things off, I mean, ever since we known each other, right? This is actually true. A good friend of mine, I was always calling my brother from another mother, Rodney Smith. Shout out to Rodney. That's how I met you in the first place, right? And from there, I was like, all right, I just want to make cartoons. I want to make comics and all that kind of stuff. And like just us, just being from Trinidad and just being so fascinated with superheroes, right, and superhero TV shows at the time. Now it's like, yeah. All right, okay, I see your drive and whatnot, and then look at where we are now, right, where you're seeing your dreams coming true now, and I'm here to just more or less pick your brain and find out what it is you did and like exactly what the journey was, right? Right. So yeah, Ancil Harris here. He is the founder of GT Network. This is, basically a web-based company that just
streaming platform. But I'm not the only one. So it's myself and an ex-guy named Andrew Joseph. We basically came together and decided to do a streaming service where I wouldn't say like Netflix, but I would say something that is different that the Caribbean never see before now. So something like that, and we decided to have a place where we could tell our own stories without having red tape and how to go through this one to get permission and all that kind of thing. So we started we launched it in 2017. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, and here we are now, right? And where we are basically at the time of us recording this is the premiere date of his newest superhero TV series called Vaser Claw. You invited me and a few other, film critic friends of ours, basically, to see the premiere. I will talk about my thoughts on the premiere, so I'll just give like brief thoughts of it in this conversation here, but I'm going to do a proper review of it in the next few days, actually, on my podcast. That's BBB Radio, right? So I mean, this is just me more or less picking your brain, just me wanting to know the journey and how you got from, all right, I'm just a guy who has all these ideas for like comic book characters and whatnot, to this is a TV show I have here now. Yeah. So All right. So go ahead. No, that's all right. Yeah. All right. I know you've been cutting this off, right?
Right. Yeah. No problem.
So to kick things off, right? Just let the world know in a nutshell who you are and what you do and what pretty much drives you to do what you do.
Right. So for everybody, Ancil Harris. I'm a Trinidadian filmmaker, comic artist, writer. I don't really do much acting, but I could.
I was often as well singing.
I used to do that before and stuff like that, But my main focus is really storytelling through film. My first passion and will always be comics, right? I always loved drawing comics from a tender age from 2 years old. I've been doing comics.
I got into drawing probably around 7 or 8 though. So 2 you said, all right.
Yeah. It's like a walk or wherever I pick up a pencil and drawing. So for fast forward to now, I always liked comics, right? I remember, you remember when I published my first comic in 2005, that was Vaser.
Yeah, Vaser. Mm-hmm.
Right, and that was in bookstores and different things like that. The thing about it was that it was Midnight Rubber was the first guy, I think, that came out with the whole comic book stuff, right?
Right. That would be Chris Riley. He came up with a book called Terror of the Midnight Rubber.
Right.
Which still to this day boasts some very impressive artwork, especially for a Caribbean comic book.
Yeah, definitely. So give Jack his jacket, I saw him do his stuff, his comic stuff, and I was like, hey, there's a good avenue where I could have my comics, because I had tons and tons of books I write, with all these characters. So I tried the comic book stuff, But I realized the comic book thing in Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension the Caribbean, wasn't really big to see like it was big now, you know. And still up to now, it's not as big in terms of like the local comics and local comic strip writers and stuff like that, right? And there are a few others right now that I'm impressed with that is do web comics right now, and you know, it's really impressive. My transition now was I went into film, you know. I found out we learn, fall in love with it. And then, you know, I started doing music videos, documentaries, different things, yada, 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 yada. I started going into the TV series, and the first one I did was All About Us.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And yeah, you know, that was bacchanal and thing and yada, yada. And that was cool. That was accepted. People like the bacchanal, people like the drama stuff. But my main thing is that I wanted to tell my stories now, right? Which was the comic characters that I have since I'm 2. So I was like, how to go about doing that? Now, mind you, this was before Marvel launched Iron Man and all these kind of things now. Right? So you remember you didn't really have examples. You had Lois and Clark Superman, you had Flash in the 90s, you had certain things, but it wasn't like prominent to say, well, okay, it's have a whole universe of things and this is what happening now. And when I saw Marvel actually step up and be like, hey, we're going to tell these comic stories now, I was like, this is actually cool though, you know? It built and it built and it built and it built. And then a day I was like, I have knowledge in film, right? I could do certain things, you know, we always learning, but I could do certain things, I could maneuver certain things and stuff like that. And I was like, I could tell my comics through film. Just like how we see CW and just like how we see Marvel and stuff like do it. And then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Boom, I don't know how to do it. But I'm gonna experiment and I'm going to find out like how to do it, you know? Yeah, and then I tried with Tarson, you know. I didn't understand certain things at the time, right?
All right. Well, if sorry to cut there, but you just want to explain to the audience, Tarson, like. All right, this being your first foray into film, right? So into superhero film genre, right? So in a nutshell, what's Tarson?
Right. So Tarson is basically not a chemical, more mechanic, alien kind of mechanic superhero. So her suits comes on and it's metallic and all that kind of thing. But she's not alien. The suit is alien. She's an earthling. You know?
So it's kind of like Guyver, like the Guyver.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Guyver now. So when the suit merge with her body and give her these extraordinary powers and stuff like that. You know, we cast Julia Cato, which is a very good actress for it and stuff like that. But it just didn't pan out. I guess because of the fact that we still was young into trying to understand the graphic side of it and this side. So although we had this story, is like, how are we gonna do the graphics? Like, how are we gonna do this? Like, how are we gonna do that? Right? And so it got set back a lot. Right? Got set back a lot. We tried with Night Rogue, and that was simpler to do, right? But what happened is that I had this character, and she's like one of the newest set of characters that I had, right? So I had this character named Magonolia, right? And she was one of the characters that I had from since like 2000, 2002, right? So that was it. She really knew because the other characters is like the 90s and all that kind of thing, right? And then I sat down a day and I basically redesigned her, right? So basically the way how she used to look before, she had like jerry curls hanging, you know? And her suit was just black and it was just whatever. It was just plain. And then what I did is that since we live in the Caribbean and we are accustomed to the cornrows and stuff like that, put that in. I give her a plain suit, but I put the red white, you know, the Trinidad
Right,
flag.
the national colors.
National colors, right. And then I was like, no, this actually pretty decent though. Like, okay, cool. Boom. Then a day I went to it was a fashion show. It was a fashion audition where they was auditioning models and stuff like that. And at that time, GT was collaborate with that organization with the models to do filming and stuff like that. And then while I was there, I literally saw Aliyah, who played Magonolia now, there.
Oh, okay. That's how it happened. All right.
Yeah, at the event. And instantly I was like, that is Magonolia.
All right, so I just imagine now with you pitching the idea to Aliyah now, she's like, what? Magonolia? What?
Yeah. Yeah, she it's something that she wanted to try. She said she never tried before. And so it was experimental. She brought her mother. She wanted to meet in person again, and she brought her mother along, and you know, we talk about it and stuff like that. And then there was to do the Magonolia short film. So at that time, we wasn't thinking about doing a series. We was just thinking of doing a short film, see how it go, see how it look, see how it feel, you know, experimental. After the short film though, then I was like, yeah, this could work. So I tell my partner, say, so let me try a series. He was like, you're like, all right. I was like, yeah, I mean, we get the writers, we get different things on board, and then then we start. We had a lot of obstacles anyway, because the week when we started to shoot Magonolia, so like the Sunday we shot Magonolia, the week after was lockdown, right? So it's like we shot the first scene we shot actually for Magonolia was the scene in the warehouse when she was testing her powers.
Oh, okay, right.
The lane come down and stuff like that. That's the first scene we actually shot that day. And then the next week was lockdown, so we had to pause production for like 3 months because whole lockdown. When place open, I think the first scene we shot when the place had open was the scene where she went and checked Rico, right? But in the 3 months, her hair was given like something was with her hair, like it was breaking up. So she had to cut the hair.
Interesting.
And yeah, so like I mean, a lot of things could happen in 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
So that was it. The mass mandate didn't come in yet, so we get time to shoot some stuff, and then boom, next lockdown again. So it's like wow, and next lockdown again, boy. And then after that, a little time again, we open up, and then we start filming and stuff like that. But it was real challenging. I mean, to me, I didn't use COVID as an excuse, because I was seeing like what Hollywood was doing when they was trying to adjust it, you know, but they still was filming and stuff like that. So we do the same thing instead of, you know, following the same protocols, but we get it done. I wish, like I say, when I was listening to reviews for Olia and someone thinking the same, boy, I wish episodes come out faster. We was wishing we wish the same thing, but it was like certain things can't be done because of certain restrictions, certain stuff. But I didn't complain about it. I was like, it's a learning lesson now, you know, and it's something that that will help us, you know, grow and help us get better in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Right. So just to use this as a transition into Vaser Claw, right? So you know you already get your feet wet, sorry, with with Tassin and Magonolia, right? So at any point in time, right, this is just me talking as someone who studied film at UE, and who's pretty much loved film ever since, you know, he knew himself, right? Ever since he could like walk and he was aware that, oh wow, there's things on TV that are telling stories. Wow, I don't need to look at a storybook basically to be inspired and whatnot, right? So I know that you're more or less going into uncharted territory, right? All right, like I'm from Trinidad, where when it comes to entertainment, we're known pretty much for music, right? We're known for soca and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. But you know, we have a lot of creative ideas visually, right? So You know, when it comes to our films, I mean, for better or for worse, is usually within the, you know, it's either documentary or like, you know, like real
Within the
life
comfort.
stuff that, yeah,
Yeah.
within that style, right? So you
Yeah.
coming in now and saying, you know what, well, I didn't study in UE. I just know a lot about comics. I know a lot about film. I've self-taught pretty much.
Yeah.
And here I am coming into, you know, into what is what's existing right now, and saying here's what I got. I just gotta make a superhero show, and I gotta make something within the sci-fi realm now. So that didn't feel
Yeah.
daunting to you. That didn't feel like, oh my god, well, dog, like should I now wait like 5 years till we have the technology or the this or the that, so it could look just as top notch as everybody else, you know, like the Marvels and all that kind of stuff, right? Or is it just like, nah, this is what I want to do. Let me just do this now. But at least try it. You know what I mean? Like what was your mindset going, you know, doing these shows now?
Right. Now, my mindset was that, you know, if we have an idea to do something, do it. For years I hear people keep saying, you know, do something different, do something different, do something different, do something different. But everybody just talk and everybody just say and everybody just say this and say that. And so for me, I was like, hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna try. We're gonna see how best we could do it. But along the way, we're gonna learn and we're gonna try to get better, and we're gonna try to improve in everyone what we do. So I didn't go in it thinking that we don't know how, you know, don't know how it will happen. I just go in thinking that, hey, we're gonna do this, and whatever mistakes we make, moving forward, we will try to clean it up as much as possible. But I believe that a genre like this was needed, right? Myself being a comic book person and then going to anime events and whatever like that.
Yeah.
You see it have interest for that, but it have interest for that abroad, you know, and people looking at that abroad. So I kind of wanted to do something where you could have, you could see your own people, you see your own self, I should say, in those characters, you know. I wouldn't lie, it was kind of butterflies at first because, you know, before the episode we started advertising, you know, people like, oh, what is that and what is that and take. So because it was something that nobody never seen before. It was something that never been done before through the entire Caribbean. So you're not even talking about Trinidad, you're talking about the entire Caribbean. Never been a superhero series ever. Maybe somebody tried to do a short or something or animation or something, but it never been a TV series. So real pressure was on us. Real pressure was on us in order to, you know, oh, this better not be crap and don't be trash and whatever like that. But at the end of the day, we think about it as this is just the beginning. Just like how Marvel started with Iron Man. And they didn't get all the stuff right in Iron Man. But at the end of the day...
I mean, look at the Incredible Hulk. Like, that followed right afterwards, right? And that could have just easily been, all right, we tried to do another Hulk movie and it didn't work. So, all right, okay, maybe next 10 years. No, they just kept at it. All they just do is just switch the actor and boom, right? We had the Avengers.
And then boom, exactly. So my thinking was like that, is that a lot of people need to understand that you can't get it in one shot. And if you sit down and wait 5 years, that 5 years might multiply to 10 years. You understand? So I waited 5 years to do what? To dream and hope when I could, you know, make the effort and put something out there. You know? And the thing about it now, people know, whoever on board, whoever become fans or whoever come supporters will be on that journey with you. And would see that, okay, this one and things getting better and better, different stories, different characters, and stuff like that. So we went into it real optimistic. You know, people was like,
that's the word, optimistic.
Yeah. People was like, oh, you sure this would do good? You sure this thing will fail? You sure people gonna think this? And it actually exceeded our expectations. You know, people gravitate to it. It premiered in places that you never dream of premiering in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it was like, it needed to be done. I think something like this needed to be done. And actually, when you look back at it now, you think about that, hey, you actually did something out of the box, out of the comfort zone that people are accustomed seeing on a daily basis now. And I think to me, the most shocking thing for me was the acceptance, especially outside of Trinidad.
Yeah. Like you have people from foreign, as you'll see, reaching out to you, and I should say positive reception actually.
Exactly. So that was the thing that was real intriguing now, because it was like, wow, okay, we had these people from the States, these people from Africa, these people from Europe. They don't know anything about the Caribbean. They don't know anything about anything. They don't know anything about Trinidad, but they love the character. They like the character. They want to see more of the character, become fans of the characters, And so that is one of the things motivated us to be like, hey, this is something that we could build on, and this is something that we could build communities with now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's why in particular that final episode of Magonolia like really hit me. Now, the one that came out early this year. Just particularly this one scene. Sorry if I spoil it for those who haven't seen it, where like the wrestling world recognize like, oh my god, like there's someone in the Caribbean who has superpowers, you know what I mean? And it's like everybody like from different countries of the world. I won't lie, like I actually brought this up in my review. I was like,
pause
this is a big deal though. Like you pretty much like tack you.
Yeah.
Like you pretty much just opening the gates and letting the world know like, yo, like we doing this here now. It's not just North America and whatnot.
And that was the underlying message with that, Because I specifically write in that piece because it was to really show in the show Magnolia, but it was really show that in Trinidad we doing a superhero stuff and people starting to notice now. So it was that underlining thing for that scene. So that scene meant different things now, boy. So like when I heard you mention it, I was like, yeah.
Oh, wait, caught me by surprise with that one. That one I was like, oh wow, like
yeah,
boy. Yeah, we reach it. Yeah. So as I mentioned, advertising earlier on now, what impressed me with your output is just how much you promote the hell out of your stuff, right? Now, it's understandable within the genre of superhero film that you have to kind of let people know, yo, episode coming out this week, show coming out that week, blah blah blah, right? But I just wanted to know, like, what was your decision going in? Like, what was your mindset going in? Keep using the word mindset, right? But mindset, decision, whatever, going in and telling yourself, all right, I really need to let people know that this thing is coming out and it's real, right? So, in 2 weeks, in a week, blah blah blah, blah. What was the decision? Like, had you like, all right, yo, this is the approach I need to take?
Well, the thing about it is something new, right? And I always say, if you're working on something new, one trailer won't capture everybody, right? And from doing Magnolia and even doing Vaser Claw now, we will put out some trailers, but we will put out something else, and then somebody be like, hey, what's that? So like they never catch the first one now, and like they never catch the other one before, but they might catch in 1 week or they might catch in 5 days. So the whole decision that we was making, it was like we have to be in people's faces all the time. Like we have to be in people's faces. We have to let people know that this is coming. Don't forget. Whatever date it is, keep going. Because if we just stick with, okay, coming out July 20th, the first trailer, then people forget. Be like, when it's coming out again? But if you keep seeing every day, every other day, then it's in your face. So you know when it's going to come. The only thing you're going to ask after that is what time.
Yeah, exactly.
Or is it out yet? You know what I mean? And I must say, I do a lot of research on what Marvel, Disney, and those organizations do there, because that is the template that they use, right? The template that they use is that they're in your face. They keep telling you, they keep giving you a countdown, and they keep getting you a countdown, and keep getting you a countdown all over, you know? So it's something that we implemented. And we said that we wanted to do that, but have our own twist on it, have our own take on it, and keep reminding people about it now. You know, I remember I was talking to somebody, and the person come and say, hey, when the show Domestic Global Phenomenon coming out?
Yeah, you in this global phenomenon.
And I was like, Yeah. And it was like, oh, Vaser Claw. She said, yeah. She said, I keep seeing that all the time. You know? But the whole thing is always to advertise it bigger than it is. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The same way Hollywood is do. Hollywood won't come and say, hey, watch this show because we do this show. No, watch this show because everybody sit and watch the show.
That's
Do you
right.
understand? And watch this show because this show is number one. Or watch this show because this show is the best show ever. It don't have to be true, but it's all about marketing. It's all about getting the persons and them hype enough to take it in, to watch it and be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And it's something that I've been talking to people before, filmmakers before, about when you're doing a film, you need to put out stuff. Just yesterday we put out a small clip from Vaser Claw, just a small clip. If you understand what I mean, they're not going to do any harm to the show. So
no.
So I always tell filmmakers that, like, you're not doing your show for yourself to put it on a shelf and say, hey, I did a show. You're doing this show for the public. Whether they like it, whether they don't like it, it's for them, you know? It's for them.
Yeah.
Along the way, you will get fans, you will get supporters, you will get people that will be interested to say, hey, I want to see more of this, you know? So it's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of dedication, but you have to love your work. You have to love your work in so much that you have to advertise it all the time for people to see until people get fed up. Right? If you don't love your work, you won't advertise it. But if you love your work, you'll always keep talking about it now. Like if it's the best thing ever. And that is what Hollywood is win with.
That's true. Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only most times when they watch a movie and then they realize, well, oh, this movie wasn't thing. But in the advertising, they ain't telling you about this movie mediocre or this movie is so-so. No, in the advertising, they're telling you this movie is the best.
Yeah, and that's the point. That's the job.
And that's the point. Yeah, that's the point. The point is, I go down and quote Matthew, and if Matthew come and say, this part was incredible, Matthew say, this was incredible. Yeah, it's strategy. That's basically what it is. And this is something that I understand, and there's something that we learning every so often. We always learning how to do certain things, how to appeal. And then I understand of lately that different people relate to different trailers. So you'll have somebody go watch a trailer and say that's cool. But then the next trailer you drop and they have something a little special and they'll be like, whoa, what's that? I had to see the show, and I actually saw it happen. Like you see people watch and they say nothing, but they see a particular something or a particular special,
and it just catches them like, oh,
and just catch them. It's like, oh, okay, when it's coming out, you know what I mean? So it's I understand why Hollywood do it. I understand why they do it, because one trailer wouldn't catch everybody.
That's true. Unless they're like real confident in the work, like they just think they're going to change everything. It's like, yo, I just need one trailer, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of buzz. That's all.
Look the same thing with Endgame. They didn't have to advertise Endgame much because of the fact that they already know everybody gonna watch Endgame.
Yeah.
You know, but they advertised the hell out of the one before that.
Infinity War.
Yeah, they advertised the hell out of that one. You know, so it's something that, like, to me, I understand it, and I never seen that ever being done here.
Yeah. So I think that you are you're on the cutting edge when it comes to that, man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let's now finally get into Vaser Claw, man. So so first question, right? With the success of Magonolia, right? It's kind of interesting that, like, for me, like, you took one of the most interesting characters in that series, right, Vaser Claw, and decided to do a prequel to that, right? Because you would think, all right, maybe you should do something more current, or maybe you could go back to Night Rogue or something like that, right? So what was the decision in terms of you wanting to explore Vaser Claw's story?
Right. What I do, and what, like, the team of us, what we did is that we look and see how people was relating to certain characters, right? A lot of people love Lillian, a lot of people love Inferno, and a lot of people love Vaser Claw. And we say that, you know, we did Magnolia, which is a female lead, right? So we wanted to do a male lead, but we wanted to challenge ourselves by having that male lead have superhuman powers too, and be set in a different world and dealing with different stuff now. So we had Lillian, we had Vaser Claw, and we was juggling between the two of them. And then we was like, Magnolia was already a lead female already. So we get to have like a lead male that you say, you know, he's a superhero as well too. You know, he has this dope gold and black
really
outfit,
dope.
real dope, you know. And so this decision was easy. It was like, hey, we're gonna do a Vaser Claw. Everything gonna be set. Nothing gonna be set on Earth. You know, everything gonna be set outside of Earth. We would not get that effect if we did like a Night Rogue, because it would be still set on Earth. We're still gonna do Night Rogue, but seeing that how we was on the sci-fi thing, we was like, hey, let's drop a first sci-fi series in the Caribbean, because Magnolia is more superhero sci-fi. Vaser Claw is more aiming to a more sci-fi than superhero now.
Right, so some more spaceships, more galactic stuff.
Out to the world, right.
More aliens.
Aliens, right, and all that now. So we wanted to explore that idea of that world a little more. So we was like, we'll go with that idea. We'll go with the Vaser Claw. The others will come, but let's go with the Vaser Claw first, and then we focus on the other stories and stuff like that.
All right. So general question. This is more or less for people who probably have, you know, ideas for comic books for years and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So the story of Vaser Claw, what we're gonna see over the course of these 4 episodes, is it based off of something that you wrote like years ago, or is just something that you kind of like finally put out? Sorry, not put out there, but it's more like you now started to create a backstory for this character that you made years ago.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both, because the thing is, he always had a story, and it's a story I wanted to tell, but then I put it in with new ideas, what the writers and the others put into it, where we had this new idea of actually putting him on a journey, you know, and actually letting him go on a journey. We tell some of his backstory in the first episode. You'll get a little glimpse of that in the other episodes going forward. But basically, like what you would see in Vaser Claw is like some stuff that I had from before. It's just with the other writers coming in, you know, we just start to mesh the idea, bring it more modernized, because, you know, those ideas would have been ideas I had when I was small, right? So we want to modernize the ideas, and then like we go with it now.
All right.
Yeah.
So all right. So as you hear, you know, if you can hear carefully, you know, Reed's falling in the background here. Yeah. It's kind of adding a nice sort of ambience to everything, making shit real dramatic, right? I love it, right?
Yeah.
So you know, if you don't mind, you could just kind of give us like a brief rundown of, you know, just the production, like just how it played out, you know, in terms of like the actors, you know, you have like, you know, existing characters that were there from Magonolia, and you brought some new ones as well too. But I'm more or less asking this in terms of you learning from your experiences from Magonolia. So like, how did those experiences from Magonolia really translate here with Vaser Claw?
Right. Okay. So I will start with the actors first. So the good thing about it is that we had actors that came from Magnolia, right? And like I put it out there. I mean, Jumel knows that already. When we cast Jumel in Magnolia, he was hella nervous. It's the first time he did anything like, he was hella nervous. It's the first time he did anything like that. He was, you know, he didn't know, you know, but then after a while he started to get comfortable in it, and it was a training for him too. So when he reached Vaser Claw, his acting had improved. It was better, you know. Charlie Griffith, who played Lucinda, is a stone actress, right? I wanted someone who had that confidence and who well spoken and who have that, you know, that royalty queen kind of vibes now. So I reached out to her. We actually did a project years ago, and you know, I fall in love with her acting. And then when we was casting for Magnolia, I was like, hey, I want you to play Queen Lucinda. And she was like, yeah, you know, and we talk about it and stuff like that. So with the acting, the actors, we was familiar with the main cast already, right? We was familiar with the main cast, they was familiar with each other and stuff like that. The new people that came in, like the guy in episode 1, he does a lot of like stand-up comedy kind of vibes now. So, you know, we wanted someone, we was up in the air with it, because initially I had a plan for Vaser Claw going in. And then I was like, Vaser Claw is not a funny character. The Capernaumans and them not funny characters. They are more serious, straight to the point.
Yeah, so I mean, look at Laline, for example. Like look at this how she just moved. Just like
just how
there's nothing happy. There's nothing funny about me. I'm pissed.
I'm pissed. Yeah, exactly. So the thing to add the balance is that we wanted somebody to balance off with Vaser, right? And somebody comical. The idea we had we was gonna make the character alien. So he would be like, oh gosh, this guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Not Drax, no.
No, not Drax. The kind of fox thing.
Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket, right. And you see how he just talk real smack, right? Yeah. And then I was like, that will require makeup thing. We may not have the budget for that. So then we decided, hey, you know what? Trini needs to be every way. Every way is Trini. So what if you find a Trini on an alien planet?
That makes sense, like, just out of the blue.
Yeah.
A random Trini. I love it.
You know? So we explore the idea of the random Trini, and then I always had Kenny as a friend, and you know, he always wanted to do stuff with us. And then I was like, you know what, Kenny's talk real trash, you know. Like, I think he'll be the perfect because he's not naturally talk nonsense. Mm-hmm. So he was like, bring him in. And then when we shot and thing, he was like, yeah, you're natural. You just talk. So we basically give him a skeleton script and we tell him just ad-lib. Because, you know, he have his way how he would do his jokes. So we tell him ad-lib is thing. So this is basically how we wanted it to go, and he just ad-lib. The filming for Vaser Claw was actually very smooth. It was smooth. It didn't have any complications. Everybody was on point. Everybody was dedicated. Locations, we ended up getting some real cool locations that people didn't even think it was in Trinidad. I remember one person messaged me and told me if we fly out to get those locations, what country we went to get those locations. I was like, that's right in Trinidad. Yeah. You know, because the thing about Vaser Claw is that we could not show anything from Trinidad. We could not show anything, houses, cars passing. We could not do those things now because it would defeat the purpose, you know. So the filming process was good. We get Carly Morris to come in. He did the cinematography. Cassidy came from Magnolia, writing Magnolia with me, so she came on board with this one. So basically, everybody was kind of.
She wrote and directed, or
yeah, she wrote and co-directed as well. She did an awesome job with doing Zoom sessions with the actors. So we'll do sessions and then we film. We'll do Zoom sessions in a week, and then we film on the weekends and stuff like that. But basically, everybody was on point. They didn't no complaints. We make it happen. Everybody chip in. Everybody do what they had to do. And it went smooth. It basically went very smooth. It went smoother than I thought it would have gone. Right.
Yeah. So now for the nice old post production, right? The one part of filmmaking that everybody loves, right? So you know, you're working with a relatively bigger story, right? You know, bigger stakes and all that kind of stuff. So you know, from even with the trailers and stuff, you know, I mean, I just saw pretty much these standard VFX, but just kind of bumped up a little bit, right? And I'll touch on a little something else with the post production as well too, right? But Any like changes or upgrades or the stuff that you learned basically from Magonolia that you kind of just improved on here with this one?
Yeah, like I say, Magonolia, we learn a lot of stuff. We learn stuff what to do, learn stuff what not to do. Audio was we had some audio issues in Magonolia, especially episode 1. So we know that.
I remember,
yeah, we know that if we're not getting the audio, we need to do ADR. We need to do these things in order for the less people could complain is the better. You want people to hear everything. The VFX step up too, because it's like, hey, we need to improve. Can't get comfortable doing the same thing. So every time we do something different, it have to be different. It have to look different. So the VFX guy was the same thing. He was like, hey, this had to look different. And like, yeah, we on the same part, because it's a different story. So graphics can't look the same. It had to look different. The green screen look different. You know what I mean? Like everything when we plan it and we say everything, we say like everything have to go notch up. Just a notch up. We might not reach but it had to go. People had to see the difference. So when they watch Magonolia, watch Vaser Claw, you had to see that jump. You know? So we was very critical about that. We was very critical about the song, the scores we choose, the music we choose, the VFX, the color grading. Like we was really like on that now. Like, hey, you have to look a particular way. So I would always say,
it's a sophomore thing, you know what I mean? You want to improve upon what you've done before. You can't just settle, you know?
Exactly. You can't settle for it now. So we went into it having fun, but learning like what it is we need to do, how we need to do certain things. Like when the locations where we shoot there, and you see all these mountains and the mountains and stuff. Yeah, we had to ADR those stuff because you might go and pick it up, but you might go and pick it up. You understand? So it's like, and the good thing about it is that the actors have the experience of doing ADR from Magonolia. So when we tell them about ADR, they understand what voiceovers are. They understand that they are to go in the studio and act the same thing, you know? So at least they have that knowledge of, you know, if the song didn't sound proper, they could voice over now. So that's a good thing that they have that understanding already, you know? But the thing about it, we wanted everything to basically raise, right? Yeah, we wanted everything to basically raise. There's always room for improvement, and I always say always room for improvement in terms of everything. But once you could see, and once everybody could see that going up, then we get. And then the next project now we will go even further. And whatever mistakes we make in this one, then we will improve to the other one. You know?
Right. I love that. So just one thing I just want to mention with that post production, boy. And I'll bring it up in my review too, boy. That music, that theme song for Vaser Claw blew my mind. I was like, is this some kind of Lucasfilm? This is Book of Boba Fett watching here? Like, what's going on here?
My wife tell me, I still understand it. She said she wanted it on her phone as a ringtone.
No, but that score is...
Yeah. We reach out to the guy who do it, and you know you could get what's called these things? You could get license. You could get license now. Yeah, you could get license. I think the guy is from somewhere in Europe or something like that, so you could get the license. But here's the thing with me with the music, right? I love music now, and I do research and I see how Star Wars is get people.
Yeah, that's what I bring up Lucasfilm. It has a very Star Wars feel to it, you know?
Yeah. And like when I was looking at it, I look at Obi-Wan Kenobi, I look at different things, and I sit down and I be like, whoa, like that music just hits you one time now. And I was like, I have to get music like that. You know? Somebody come and tell me that after the premiere, I was like, horse, that intro was real bad. We see the Vaser coming, so I like the music and thing. And I was like, yeah, that's what I was looking for. And I was looking for that epic type of music now, because it's not to me, I watching it it's not a typical show.
No.
That you go just put a beat or a soca beat or a calypso beat, and you're good with that. It's like this had to be when somebody listened to it, I'd be like, wow, that song is so good now, boy.
And it's about a very like important character in this Will Ventures universe anyway, so he had to get a real treatment, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, when I heard the song the first time, it gave you that kind of royal kind of vibe, and I was like, woo, that song is so good.
That perfect choice with that was good. You really catch me off guard with that, you know what I mean? So
you know when like it hit me when it play and it hit on the speakers, boy. I was like,
I was there at the official, screening, right? Just hearing that in the speakers, I was like, oh my god.
Exactly, because you hear it on your computer, you hear it on the speakers, but remember those are the bigger speakers now. So you're hearing that like, woo! It's like
it's studio monitors. That's how you make sure that they get the sound perfect.
Yeah. So like somebody was telling me after, it was like, I feel like if I was sitting down in a cinema, he said like I just was hearing everything. Yeah.
And trust me, one day you're gonna get to that point where you literally could sit down home, watch your work, and it will sound like literally it'll be like the equivalent of sitting down in a movie theater and just hearing everything. You know?
That's the aim. That's the aim.
Yeah, and that's something I just want to see in terms of like Caribbean content, like film content now. You know what I mean? There's proper audio mixing and whatnot, so it just sounds top notch. There. I mean, it sounds professional.
Yeah.
Right. So a couple questions, right? There's a couple more questions, right?
No problem.
So what can fans of your work expect with this miniseries here, man? What can we expect in terms of the characters, with the world building, all that stuff?
There's a world building characters, because we're introducing some new characters that we never introduced before. A lot of people say they want to see Acuna. There's a girl with the scream and the hair and stuff like that.
Yeah. I can't wait to. No, like the moment I saw that character in the trailer, I was like, all right, put a pin on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back to that character.
It have a lot of. I'll put it out there. It have betrayals going to happen, and there's a lot of things that you think was the truth is not the truth. So there's a lot of stuff happening going down. In terms of Vaser character, what it is that he believe in, or he did believe in from small, it was like basically would be a lie, and it's how we gonna deal with it. You know what I mean? So it's so it's different now. You'll have fun with it. You'll have fun with it. I think a lot of people will like Kit, the character with Kit. Kit will bring that nice humor and stuff like that. We feature one or two characters, not long. It's just more cameos. Because what we try to do is try to center majority of it on Vaser itself. You get to see more of Queen Lucinda though, and you really get to see what like the rank she have now. Because in Magnolia, you're just seeing her talking and whatever, but in Vaser Claw, you'll actually see her dominance now. Right. And calling shots and stuff like that. So you see more of that, because we wanted to highlight a little more of her in the series. Unfortunately, for people who fans of Lillian, you wouldn't see much of Lillian. You'll see
for me personally, I kind of want to see how a character grows after how Magnolia ended.
Yeah, you'll see a preview of Lillian, but that preview of Lillian will lead into Lillian.
Okay. Well, that was gonna lead to my next question, but yeah.
Yeah. That will lead into Lillian's story, when the series that we will work on. It have some little twists in that Lillian story too that will have you like, what we doing here? You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's a kind of mind thing we doing there. But initially, it's just fun. You'll get to see the characters. I think you'll get to understand Vaser Claw a little more. You will see how he thinks, who he is. Princess Laura have a vital role in that. You see that kind of chemistry, that love chemistry with the both of them. Well, you saw that in episode 1. Yeah. So you see.
Yeah,
like,
we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you see like more of that going down. So the thing about it is basically story based on him, but you see other things happening around. Not much things happening around, but what happening around would be tying back to his story.
Right. Well,
yeah.
now you know the stuff you say there. Now I have been thinking about a couple more questions, right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, these things happen. Right?
Yeah.
So, how is this miniseries here going to affect everything else? So I should say the other shows going forward, or will it at all?
It will. Because in the ending of Vaser Claw, a lot of things gonna reveal. We had a reveal in the ending of Magnolia episode 5, right? That was with General Amos being alive and whatever.
Yes.
No, this one is even worse.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, and this now going to lead into what Lane will have to deal with, and then it will lead into something that we're working on, where all of them will have to come together to battle.
Right. I don't know. I just pictured some Star Wars-esque visuals for like what could come. You know what I mean? I just expected a real epicness from this point on, man. So, which is going to lead to this question here. So you're on a roll here right now with the Phil Ventures universe, right? It's finally a reality now, right? So where do you see this going in the next, I don't know, 5-10 years? You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna get phases like the MCU? Are we gonna get movies? You know what I mean? Like how do you see this thing expanding? Basically?
Right. So the reason why we're doing the mini series and we're doing the full series and the full stuff, I mean, besides the budget wise, is to more establish the characters, right? And now when we establish the characters and people understand the characters, now we're gonna start doing like different stories. I'll put it out there, Razor gonna come. Razor gonna come for sure. We already get the actor for him already. He gonna come for sure. But we're gonna prop him up like how you remember like how Thanos, he was only talking about Thanos.
I was going to say Thanos today.
Yeah. So, how he was only talking about Thanos, and then Thanos comes like bam. So it's like that is what it's gonna lead to now. Gonna lead to that whole story of Razor and that whole defending the whole universe and this and that. But what the main thing now is to really establish the characters. Now, here the thing about the Vilventures universe, which is different. Vilventures universe have 2 stories, but it intertwine with each other. So you have the stories about the Capernaums and you have the stories about the heroes on Earth.
Right. But not so much the hybrids like what Magonolia is, right? But other people, other characters.
Yes, other characters and also the hybrids like Magnolia as well too. So these things will be intertwining with each other eventually, right? We supposed to drop the trailer for the our 2-part series, which is superheroes, which feature Icy and Voltanic, and that is basically linked directly to Magnolia.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're supposed to drop the trailer. I think probably next week we might drop the trailer or weekend or something. So that linked directly to Magnolia, and it will have a link to Capernaum as well too. But it's something that is a process. So what it is we doing with like these short series and these short films is establishing the characters, and then now we will have these characters appear in other series, in other shows.
Yeah, exactly. It's the MCU or DC treatment. You don't have to stop to over-explain. Oh, this is the character, and this is the character. And you already did that before.
And not everybody going to get their own show or their own film or stuff like that.
That'd be overkill, man.
Yeah, that'd be overkill. Yeah. So we handpick the few ones that we know that they could carry that story, and then within that story, then you will see other people like for example in Vaser Claw, well we get to see Tamia for the first time, which is played by Ambika Budu, right? And
that's the character's name. Oh, okay. I was looking at the credits, so I was trying to pick up who it was. Right?
Yeah, Tamia. So she and the funny thing about it, she's one of my old characters, like real old characters. And I was looking for somebody to portray her now. And then, I talked to Ambika and it's like, hey, cool, and and she come in and do a thing and stuff like that. So so in Vaser Claw, you'll get to see like, one or two characters that'll pop here and there. After Vaser Claw though, I just putting it out there because we're gonna say it anyhow. After Vaser Claw, the next with the Capernaum story will be Inferno.
Nice.
Right? But we're doing a short film with her. So it's like 20-30 minutes, but it will be the Inferno story, which will link into Lillian.
Okay, so it's a prequel of sorts, right? But it's not gonna. So it's kind of gonna tie into like her appearance in Magonolia, but it's more to build up for Lillian. Yeah. All right, I got you.
And we're gonna explain the reason why she is how she is. So it have a lot of things.
Explain the powers. How she had the fire powers. Like
you're explaining the fire powers. I can't spoil it for you, so you can see when they come. So you explain the whole fire powers and where she's really from now, and who she really is, and who she could really become. Because the thing about it is that she's not who you think she is.
Which could explain why she was so open to being friendly with Magonolia in the series. Yes. Okay, I see that. So.
Yeah. So you'll get in the Inferno series, you'll get to really see the kind of character she really is and why she moved the way how she's moved. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting when it comes out. We're supposed to start filming for that, I think, next month. Filming for that next month.
So right in the middle of the run of Vaser Claw, right? Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of like
fit already though.
Right.
Cast the actors and stuff. It's a small cast, and you'll see like some cameos from some other people from Vaser Claw. You'll see like 1 or 2 cameos and stuff.
Okay. So in terms of like bringing in other characters, because I know over the past few months and so you've been more or less started to organize bringing in, other characters from, say, other islands of the Caribbean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So are they going to be like officially part of the, are they officially part of the Vilventures universe, or is it that they just have to have the little spin-offs and stuff, and then they'll just kind of work themselves into your stories involving the Capernaums, or sorry for butchering it, right? No, cool, like the 2 core stories of the Vilventures universe. That's what I say.
Yeah. So far we have Vibe, right? Right. So, and she's Jamaican and stuff like that. So she is part of the Vilventures universe. Right now they're working on telling their story, and it will have elements from the Vilventures universe. We have recently we brought on Bachak Man.
Yes. Shout out to Keon Byron.
Yeah, for real. To be part of the universe. And also I think the last episode of Bachak Man make reference to moving forward as well too.
Right. I'm looking forward to. I think we all looking forward to see that now.
Yeah. So we have those 2 so far. We also talking to someone from Barbados to have their stuff on board as well. But we still working on that. We planned that already and stuff like that. But
that's the character who had this sort of
bow and arrow,
blue and yellow. Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I had in mind too.
Yeah. So we're working on that right now. But what we planning to do next year is to do the ultras.
Yes. Which you hinted at the end of Magonolia. Again, sorry for spoiling it for those out.
Yeah. So the thing is with the ultras, we looking to not doing it. We don't want to do it as a series, right? We want to do it at least as a 1 hour, like a special, right? But we have the characters like Magnolia, Solera, Icy, Volcanic, Bachak Man, Vibe,
Right.
Some of the characters will be main, and then we'll have some will come in like in the ending and stuff like that. So right now that's one of the stuff that we aiming for, like to bring Vibe to Trinidad and let her do her scenes with everybody here, And
that'd be dope.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So that is one of the big things that we're looking to do for next year summer.
Right. Okay, next year summer. Right.
Yeah.
Now we've been talking superhero this, superhero that, right? So
yeah.
in my mind, I keep asking myself, Sister Bond.
Yeah.
When is that coming out? One, right? And also
right.
take it also with Night Rogue and when that will come out as well too, right? So are there gonna be like non-super powered heroes in the Ventures universe that we can look forward to? Because it's cool that we having all these superheroes with all these powers and whatnot, but it'd be cool if you have someone who has no powers and they could throw down, they could punch, they could you know?
Well, actually, Sister Bond is that. So think about Agents of Shield. Think about what's his next next one. I'm trying to make reference of two. Agents of Shield is one, and something else. I'm trying to remember.
But I know, like in Marvel and DC Comics, they usually have like non-powered characters who are part of the world.
Part of the world, right? So basically, Sister Bond is basically like an organization. So they work for an organization that trying to work alongside with the heroes, right?
Okay.
And trying to understand the heroes, try to work with Magnolia or try to work with different people now, right? Or I was gonna say Agents of Shield or Men in Black.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So basically that's the idea we're exploring with. So the two main cast, which is Selena and Shimei, they have absolutely no powers.
Which is cool.
Which is cool. But they have the story and they're going about, they're going to be going about doing the thing.
Yeah, I just threw a little idea here. It'd be cool if they will meet with somebody, like say a Night Rogue, like somebody, like I don't know, like I gathered just from the little clip that they showed us years ago, that he just like not on that whole superhero vibe, like he just do it. He more thinks along the lines of a vigilante. It's not about the flashy powers and hey, look at me again, praise. Like no, I'll just beat you down and move on.
And
so it'd be cool if they meet up.
Yeah, and basically we will have one or two cameos with some of the heroes in Sister Bond, but nothing big to say, any big sort of thing, because I wanted the focus with Sister Bond just to be on them.
Yeah.
Just to be on them. They're doing the mission, they're doing the stuff, and they're going through the phases now. They're going through the stuff. I'll put it out there that it will be a more comedy type of vibe.
Yeah, I was picking that too. A little drama too.
A little drama comedy. Because what it is thinking about with Ventures universe is I want it to be where it could be for everybody. Right? Now it will have certain stories that will be like dark and it will be like, stuff like that. Right?
Yeah.
And we will have disclaimers on those things. But majority of the stuff that we'll be doing would be family oriented now, like family friendly type of vibes, Well, besides like Night Rogue and stuff, that ain't gonna be.
No. I could have told you. That gonna be like TVPG.
Yeah, we're looking at December to at least have the first 2 episodes or something like that for Sister Bond. We're planning to start shooting that next month as well too. So yeah, looking forward to that too.
All right. So final question now.
No problem.
Right. So let me articulate this clearly, right? So with everything that you've done, right, and once again, round of applause, man. I am just in awe of what you do. I am inspired. Like yes, you inspire me, Jordan, because I'm a creative as well too. So so to those who more or less are creative as well to those in terms of like film and just like storytelling and whatnot, right? But they just kind of feel like I don't know, Trinidad don't really care about comics or Trinidad don't really care about superhero stuff or fantasy, whatever it is, right? Like or they just don't really know, or they just want to make stuff like within the vein of what you do. More of the fantastical stuff basically. They don't want to be tied down by a specific genre, right? Yeah. What would be the advice you would give them? Just from your experience over the years.
Right. First thing I would say, don't study what people say. Right? That's the first thing.
First up. That's it.
First up. Because the thing about it is that people will say good, people will say bad. But that shouldn't stop you from doing what you have to do. Right? And the next thing about it is that you had to be passionate about it. You had to understand that it take a process, you had to learn, and you have to build a community. So if 100 people not really fun it, and you have 5 people from the 100 people, that's your community. That's your 5 people that are going to be supporting you. And then from there, you start to build, and you start to build, and you start to build, and you start to build. Networking is important as well too. You know, don't be afraid to network and reach out to people. Some people might say no, but you go have the ones that will say yes. You know, build relationship with, you know, the TV, the bloggers, the reviewers. You know, build, yeah, exactly. Because those are the ones that will advertise your stuff, that will review your things and say, hey, this is what they like, this is what they don't like. But these things is what will help you grow. You understand? And you have to be around people who are on the same wavelength with you. So, for example, if you say you want to do a horror genre, or you want to do some other genre that not really people not accustomed seeing in Trinidad, you can't be around the ones who will have you doubting. You have to be around the ones who say, hey, we can make this happen. You understand? Right. And the thing about it, don't study Trinidad. I keep telling people that the world, billions of people in the world. If you could get 100,000 people in the world, you're good. So don't study about Trinidad. Because the way how I look at it, yes, you know, you're sending things for people in Trinidad and the reviews and all are good. What I look at is that we are export system, right? We take Trinidad culture, Trinidad accents, locations, costuming, whatever, and we export it to the world. You understand? So you want the world, as much as you want the people in Trinidad to see it, and that's all good. But don't let it be about that only. Let the world see it. You understand? And I will tell people the sky is the limit. Like, go as far as you can go. You know what I mean? Go as fast as you go, and don't study about what this one had to say, that one had to say, that one had to say, that one had to say. That is just distractions. Focus on what it is you have to focus on, but learn along the way. So when you do your show, you do your film, look back and critique it and see where's the mistakes you made. How we could improve in the next one. Never get an ego. That's the next thing I always tell people. Never build an ego and feel like you can never learn and feel like it's the biggest thing ever. Nah, that'll work. Be as humble as possible. Stay as humble as possible, because we all learning. This genre that we're doing here with the superhero stuff, we learning. So I'm not going to jump out and say, yeah, I the first one start this, I the best. Nah, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about learning, improving, showing the world that, hey, this is what we could do in this tiny island. And getting better and getting better. You know? So I never was about the hype. Yeah, you go hype the show. But I never was about the hype, because to me, it's all about the work. The work speaks for itself. You understand? If this guy from a different country who don't understand anything about what we're saying could come and say, yes, that was good, and I love this, then we do something good. But we shouldn't stop there. You know?
No,
we should
definitely not.
Yeah. Because the thing about it, real people thought after Magonolia, yeah, we just promote that and we stick with that. I was like, no, I'm gonna do our next show though. Like, for real? Like, yeah. Why I holding on to Magonolia and I have other characters to tell?
Yeah. And the advantage you have too is that, you know, a lot of people will say, okay, I did the one show. All right, you'll get season 2 very soon, and we waited 5, 10 years and it never comes. You're like, all right, I did Magonolia, okay, cool. On to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one.
Yeah.
And smart tactic there.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I say the episodes short, but the episodes telling where you have to tell and going into a different story. Yep. You understand? So I understand budget, but you know what? Here what's going on. I will call my thing a limited series. I will call my thing a mini series. And that's the way it is. I'm not going to call my thing a full series because it's not a full series. I will say it's a limited, because you will understand now it's a limited now. So do expect much from it. Do expect a whole set of episodes. But you know what? After this season, after this show, you're going to get an next show though. And after this one, you're going to get an next one though. you know?
And then it'll just hopefully all come together in an Infinity War or Endgame. Exactly.
Exactly. So I always tell people, focus on what it is you have to focus on. Do not get distracted by hype. Do not get distracted by this one say, that one say. Focus on it. My focus right now, team focus, is to build this universe. You understand? So by building this universe, we have to tell multiple stories in order to build this universe. We can't stick with one person. You know? We have to tell different stories in order to build it now. So I'll always tell people that. Final thing I'll tell everybody, be brave. You understand? You do something, put it out. If somebody says mess, whatever. You're moving on. Don't let that affect you. Because people have opinions. People are entitled to their opinions. You understand? And if somebody say they don't like it, they don't like it. Yeah, you have to have that understanding. Same thing with me, right? When we did Magnolia, the guys tell me, well, boy, that look like child superhero thing. I don't watch them thing. And I could respect that. I could understand that. Because you know what? It's not for you.
That's right.
You know, it's not for you. So I'm not gonna get vexed and be like, oh, why don't I like the thing? No. So as filmmakers, you have to understand who are your target market. You know, Magnolia target market is kids, young girls, teenager. That is the target market. So you need to understand your target market, your target audience. Who is the people that will watch this? Look what we're doing for Vaser Claw. We're going Comic-Con. That is the target. That is the target there. You understand? People who into Comic-Con.
Well, specify what Comic-Con. Next thing you know, people think it's San Diego. Or New York you're talking about.
We're going KaiserCon next week, Sunday. That's on the 30th and the 31st, but I think we're going this Sunday. And then we're going Galacticon on the 13th of August. Yeah, so it's two cons we're doing. We're going this year, which definitely looking forward to. And the characters will be going, you know, actors and them going in costumes and stuff like that. The organization's really excited about it, and I'm really excited about it.
I have a quick question. It's just going to be like what, a Q&A, or it's just sort of showing up and saying, hey,
Vaser
Claw showing.
Yeah, I think it's a showing up. I'm not sure like what it is they will do, if they may do a Q&A or how it is, but I just know they just want us to be there, and I'm honored to be there. To, you know, to hopefully make some new fans, you know, to people to see it and be like, ooh, okay, and you know, and become fans of it. That's the mission right now. The mission right now, we on Matthew is building communities. It's to build our community now. So people could do this. One of the other things that we planning to do later in the year is a school tour. We already talked to some teachers, some schools already about doing the school tour. And the good thing about doing this school tour later in the year is that we will have Magnolia and Vaser Claw.
I see you.
Yeah. Because you gonna have the boys gonna be like, oh, you know, she's a female superhero, cool, you know, but you really have somebody who's male, like, bam, you have Vaser Claw.
Yeah, Vaser Claw, right.
Right. So you have the boys gonna be like, hey, you know, Vaser Claw, you have a cool suit and stuff like that. So it's one of the things that we planning to do. And we starting from primary school, preschool, primary school. Perfect age to start, where we could get that. We actually did an experiment with Magnolia before COVID. We went to Halloween Fest in Grand Bazaar, and I was showing my partner something. When we showed the short film in Magnolia, guess what happened after? All them children came, take pictures with Magnolia.
Nice.
You sit down, you watch it, and I say, you know why is that there? That is the target market.
Yeah.
That is the target market. They went, take pictures. They don't know who she is. It's the first time they see her ever. But look cool.
Yeah. And she from Trinidad. And she looked like them.
And she looked like them. You know what I mean? So it's all these things. It's all these things as filmmakers we had to take into consideration. Be brave. You're not doing this show to hang on a shelf. You're not doing this show with your buddies. You're doing this show you're putting it out there for people to embrace it. Whether
it's for the world. It's not just for you. It's for the world.
Yeah, it's whether they like it or don't like it. That's cool. It don't stop Hollywood. You know what time critics come and say, "Oh, that movie was mad." They part the next one. But it don't do anything, because at the end of the day, everybody has their opinion.
That's right. Yeah.
So
and when it comes to critics, by the way, it's not like telling. It's like I don't want to call myself some official one, right? But it's not like when somebody goes on YouTube and say, hey, this movie is trash or whatnot. It's like, I know some people just go at it with like real bad faith. This is like, this is like the worst thing ever, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like we want the filmmakers to just pack up and go,
Yeah.
It's like when the next film comes, it had to be much better, At least, even if it's good, we expect that in the next film, it's gonna just be an improvement over what you did before. It's about progress, you know what I mean?
It's about progress, and the thing about it, like Matthew, I never really satisfied because I will watch back something, I'll be like, hey, I could have do something different there, we could have do something different there. And when you have that kind of mindset, you'll always try to improve. The minute you get comfortable, then it's problem. The minute it's been like, that good day, and every time you do something, that good day, and you're not improving, that's what make it dangerous now.
Every filmmaker goes through that, right? So, you experience that now.
Yeah, every filmmaker go through that. And the thing about it is that when people see something different, they respond differently. So they don't know how. Sometimes people don't know how to respond. So like when they see a lot of people when they see the Vaser Claw trailer, it's like, oh, they do this, like this shut down here, like you do this, like because they see how it look now from how Magonolia look. And it was like, hey, we need to be close to or on the same par with what you watching on Netflix, what you watching on Paramount Plus and Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And it will reach there. It might reach there now, but the aim is to reach like that.
Yeah, or at least you have a body of work that somebody could just sit down for a whole day and just pretty much run through your catalog as far as these superhero or these Evil Ventures universe goes.
Exactly.
That's how I pictured it.
Exactly. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work if you're going in to do films, especially this genre of films. It's a lot of work. So the thing about it, like I was saying at the screening, is that I always wanted to do something differently.
Yeah.
Always wanted to bring something different because, like I say, no disrespect to no filmmakers, but you see the same thing. I mean, you and all had mentioned it in Magonolia. It's like same. Like if somebody said they bring out a local film, you could talk about it in your head what it is they're gonna do. Off the bat, you know what it is they're gonna do already. So the thing is giving people options now.
Yeah.
You have a superhero, you have a sci-fi, you have this. It's options now. So you'd be like, okay, we could produce these kind of things here too.
Yeah. And also, that's just to add this my little 2 cents into it too. Because I'm going through this right now, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody has to be a director, right, or a writer, right? Yeah. But for me, how I see it is that you just have to find something you're really passionate about, and if it's within the genre of, say, film or music, or whatever, you just find your role and you just commit to it as much as you can, right? Because like case in point with Vaser Claw, like look at the makeup effects, right? Like I'm seeing an actress in full, not in full makeup, but like in alien makeup, like face makeup, and I'm like someone like Polony, right? A fellow film critic, right? She was like amazed at that. I think so. She also brought up it reminded her of Farscape. I think it was somebody else brought it up, right?
Yeah.
I was like, you're actually right now. You know what I mean? But look at it where you are now. It's like somebody who's really good at makeup doing this. Costume design. You know what I mean? Look at the costume of Vaser and everybody else.
And the thing
is, more or less like finding your role in this.
But you know the thing about it, Matthew. We have all this right here. Yeah. The guy, rest in peace to Keon Chow. The guy who did Vaser Claw design used to do design for Tribe and them.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
We have the tools here. The makeup artist girl, Mackenzie, she's doing makeup artist as she's doing that as a profession. And when I wanted to do, I wanted to introduce an alien person in Vaser Claw. This never been done before. I wanted to do alien person on local. And I reached out to her and I was like, so I know you do makeup and thing on kids and thing for people and stuff, and I say I want you to do a makeup for one of my shows I'm doing. She was like, what? She's like, for real? I say, yeah, I want the girl to look alien. She's like, so I tell her, I say, well, yeah, just give me a price. She said, nah. She said, that on the house. I got
on the house, you see?
Yeah. Because she said she never did anything like that in that volume now, for a series. Yeah. She said what she did is like go to parties, go to events, do makeup for people, whatever. And she basically did that makeup in 2.5 hours. Wow. And we shot everything with that girl on green screen that day. Every single thing.
Nice. Yeah. And some great makeup, by the way. I mean,
yeah. Kudos to her. Like she real good. And the thing about it is that there's the same thing. Like we have those things here. We have the costume design, we have the makeup, we have those things here.
We have music. We have someone who does music. Shout out to Chenko. You know, he does music. Yeah.
It's we could do Foley's. I in the credits I did most of the Foley stuff because I understand the essential stuff for Foley. I understand why we need Foley now. And before I didn't understand it, I was like, oh, okay, that's just normal song or whatever. But it's like, there's the reason why they use Foley.
Yeah. I was gonna say that little sound effect there was Foley, but
yeah. So the thing about it is that we have everything here. Is just to get up and do it. That's it. It. Anything we could do, we just have to get up and do it. We have we have access to the green screen room. Mm-hmm. We went there, we like, do the green screen, remove the background. Like it could be done.
Yeah.
It could be done. So I think for Vaser Claw, a lot of people will actually see the potential that we have here. With the makeup and with the costuming and the green screen stuff and the VFX stuff and people would definitely see like, okay, these people are not really joking though. Like
And not just technical stuff too, but also the writing as well, you know what I mean? And direction.
Yeah, and direction. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So in closing, Ancil, where can people find you online? This is your opportunity to promote yourself, Will Ventures, Vaser Claw, cast crew. Right. And that's it to let the world know where to find everybody in your cast, whatnot. Just where people can find you online and shout out the team.
I just look for GT Network, Will Ventures Universe. When you look for that, you'll see everybody there. You'll see everything there. GT posts all the time, so you're always seeing stuff. Vaser Claw on Facebook, Vaser Claw on Instagram, Vaser Claw on Twitter. You see everything there. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Carly who did the cinematography. There's some good cinematography. Cyrus, who did the special effects. Mackenzie who did the makeup. We had like 3 costume designers on set there. Keon who passed. Tina, remember Tina Baulal?
I know.
She did. She gave us some stuff too. Some props too. Kimberly Brown did some stuff for us too as well. So and her husband as well too did the Vaser Claw kind of jacket.
Hoodie, right? Yeah. Which is badass, by the way.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like honestly, when I get to the first time at you, I was like, this real badass. It's like, wow. And he bring it for me and it's like, you can see what you can do with it. I say, I know I go and do with it. This is good advice. So shout out to them, Cassidy Pesce for doing the writing, helping with the writing. She came up with the Capernaum language as well too.
Right. I'll learn that term for the review. Capernaum, like as know it never so often, but I kind of butchered here, so sorry. Capernaum.
What people know, if religious people know, Capernaum is in the Bible. That is where Jesus, I think, used to go. I think it was in Jerusalem, right? But it's in the Bible. Capernaum is in the Bible. Okay. So I was, the actors was real good. Everybody did their part. Everybody do what they had to do. I was real impressed by how everybody improved from Magonolia to now. Chenko with the scores. Chenko did a lot of the ADR and the mixing stuff as well too. Who else? We get a voice actor from United Kingdom. His name is Martin Winston. You'll see him from an episode 2. He playing an AI. He voiced Yeah, and he phenomenal. Like he real good. Yeah, and the actors and them who take the time off the schedule and to actually come and make this happen. My cousin, I don't remember my cousin Jerome. He bring his drone, and we had a real fun with his drone.
Your cousin have a drone.
Yeah, well, he had 3. So like when I tell him about the project, he was like, "Yeah, man, I had 3 drone. Like, where one?" I was like, "Yeah, let me do it. Yeah, 3. So it's like he will use this one, and so it was real good. He was instrumental in getting some of the landscapes as well too. We shot those places in Claxton Bay, so he was instrumental in when I was asking him about places to shoot. He was like, "Hey, I know this place. Like take a look. Let me go. We get the permission from the people there, and it was real. It came in real nice. So he helped a lot in terms of like scouting that unique location, boy. So shout out to him for that. Shout out to him for that one for sure. And people from the green screen room, there was them is we boys. They understand the dream. Yeah, they understand the dream. So I mightn't forget anybody else, but that was they was the ones that instrumental in making the series happen. I know a lot of people like somebody come up and be like, "Oh, it was so good. It's just short." I was like, "Oh yes, I know. Budget-wise, it can't go longer. I wish
that is usually a minor gripe of mine. Like I always wish the episodes could just go an extra 5 or 10 minutes.
I wish one day I could aim to do an hour episode, 1 hour episode. 45.
I want you to at least like do a finale that runs for about an hour.
Generally. Yeah, boy. But you see, the thing is so much of resources is going to it, and the longer you go, is the more resources you have to, have to think with now. So that is be our issue. We working on that. We're working on funding. We're working on different things now, boy. And once that happen, definitely I gonna aim for 1 hour episodes. Like definitely 1 hour.
Nice.
Yeah, but for now we can't do it because of budget restrictions, budget constraints and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but that's the aim. The aim is 45 1 hour episodes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that when people see this, it could give them motivation and encouragement to actually get up and do what they don't have to do superhero sci-fi, but they could just do whatever they dream to do.
Yeah.
Without having doubts and having to think about this and that and so yeah.
All right. Well, Ancil, thank you so much for coming through, man. This was a great interview. Who'd have thought, right, that I'll be interviewing you about this, man. You know what I mean? But it was a blast. I learned a lot. I got inspired. Swear to God, I got inspired by all this, man. And I just want to see nothing but the best for you, man. So looking forward to, this at the time of us recording this, the first episode of Vaser Claw would have dropped, or is about to drop actually in a few hours. But just looking forward to the other 3, man. I'm just really excited to see not so much where the story goes, but just how the quality of what you've been doing, stepped up. You know what I mean? I just can't wait to see that, man. Yeah. All right, man. So it's been great, man. So take care. Until the next one, guys. Peace.